even further it has gone. Welcome back to the Sports Spotlight. I'm your host, Rizwan. Now with me on the airwaves of Radio Azad, I've got Umair. Umair, welcome back, man. Real quick, I know the spotlight moves all over the place. There's a big game going on across the pond over in Europe. Um, I think it's in London today, if I remember correctly. Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns are stuck in this defensive struggle. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Cleveland is up 17-14, and field goal. The attempt at a tying field goal just went wide right for Minnesota, so Cleveland's going to be getting the ball back. 10 minutes left. They're going to try to grind out the clock and see if they can win the game, or if hopefully Carson Wentz can throw a touchdown or two to Justin Jefferson, whom I've got on 3 of my 5 fantasy football teams. Welcome back, Umair. Let's finish out this conversation. Hey, Afghanistan is trying to do a little bit here at the end. Possibly a little too late, but here we are with about 7 deliveries left. I think they've inched their way up to 132 for a loss of 9.
Yeah.
So, maybe in that last over, if they can get 10, 12 runs, it's going to be a respectable, something that they can
It's going to be respectable, yeah. Sharjah standards, for sure.
Yeah. But it was looking really bad until about 2 or 3 overs ago. I mean, it looked like the way the wickets were
like
falling
111 or something for 8. Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
So kudos to what's his name, Darvish Rasuli. I think he's done most of the damage here, having scored 30 off of 27 with 2 fours and a big 6. He's gone. All right, we're down to Bashir Ahmed, and there we go. Last over done, 135 at a loss of 9. All right. What did Mitchell Marsh say about
the last the second T20, because of the rain, it went to a 9-over game, right? It became a 9-over game, and I think they played only 2 overs, and then it got interrupted. Then after that, they played a couple of overs more or something,
and then washed out. Yeah.
And then washed out. Yeah. And then during that first break, later Mr. Marsh said that was he scored 1 run off 5 balls, right? And he said later on that I was the most, like, in my entire career, I was in so much pressure that I've never felt, because I was just 1 run in 5 balls. So it just made me thinking, it's a 9-over game. It's a damn bilateral series. And this guy is saying that just because he scored 5 runs in 1 ball, this was the most pressure that he has ever faced in his career.
I don't know.
Not T20 World Cup, not anything else, not the action, nothing else. That this is the most, like, that I was a little surprised, but then I thought, these are Australians. That's their thinking, right? It's a 9-over game. 1 run in 5 balls is nothing. It's like, it's not even below mediocre, right?
Yeah.
So mediocre performance, and then that statement kind of hit me, that how is Pakistan thinking? Do they think the same way, or they think, okay, you know what, that's fine.
It's no
the
big
ball
deal.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything, or something like that. We don't think like that.
No, you're right. I think that's a very, very important point to, again, what do we, being athletes, what have we always said? What have I always taught my kids, my teams I've coached? What's the most important play? It's the play right in front of you, right? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what the score is. It shouldn't matter who your opponent is. It shouldn't matter what the stakes are. You got to win that play right in front of you, right?
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. And I think that's that mentality. That's what he means to convey by that, is that it doesn't matter. It's just a middle match of a bilateral series. Doesn't matter. He doesn't care. It was the moment that he felt he needs to deliver, right? That's what matters. You're in a game. What did Herm Edwards say? You win. You play to win the game. Seems pretty simple, but pretty straightforward. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The moment you're okay with losing, you've already lost. You've lost any future matches that you're going to be playing. And more importantly, I
Exactly.
think what you were talking about, the Pakistan team, I had to take the topic back to them. They do a lot of, I think and this was evident in this final against India, right? After that big start, what they started doing, instead of just continuing to do what got them there, they started playing not to lose. You start playing
Exactly.
not to lose, you're gonna end up losing, and that's what happens. You gotta. They've been saying, we're bringing in the young blood to play intentional cricket. We're gonna play aggressive cricket. Well, then play aggressive cricket, but don't make stupid shots and put yourself under pressure because of that. It's just anyway. So I don't wanna keep belaboring the point of the Pakistani team. We've talked about them quite a bit. I do want to switch over to um, Team India. They've got a series going on with West Indies. But before we do, got to talk about. I mentioned there's something else coming up later tonight. Well, Ruhi Goat Women's Hospital fundraiser is happening tonight as well. Anarkali, the play is a modern Urdu comedy play by the being brought to you, produced by the world-renowned artist and playwright and author Mr. Muhammad Inamullah. It's written by Shahid Ali. All proceeds from this will go to benefit, will be donated to the Kuhi Goat Hospital and TF, supporting their vital work that they do in Pakistan. And come over, support this great philanthropic cause while enjoying a lighthearted play and a lovely, lovely evening hosted by yours truly. I'm going to be over there, so looking forward to all of you to come out for this wonderful cause and an enjoyable, entertaining play. Tickets start at just $49. Actually, they just opened up the balcony because the regular seating was all sold out. So the balcony just opened up, and I think those are $39. And there is a light dinner included in it. You can get your tickets at www.tugoz.com/events/PSE/Dallas 2025. It's going to be at the Capel Art Center tonight, starting at 6 p.m. For more information, you can call Aftab Siddiqui at 817-706-7495. So good cause, good entertainment. Come on down. All right, let's talk about what is happening with India and West Indies, shall we? Um,
Yeah.
it's I mean, look, West Indies was a once proud, especially in the world of Test cricket, once proud
One. Yeah. You're
nation,
right.
and how the mighty have fallen, man. I mean, this was just that first Test was just embarrassing. Look, India played really well. India's the strongest team, top to bottom, in all formats right now, regardless of the rankings. Like what they have on the batting side, on the bowling side, right? All of that, but still just an embarrassing showing for Team West Indies, scoring 162 and then giving up 448 to Team India and then only mustering 146, losing, batting twice as much and losing by 140 runs is always, there's no other way to express that than to say an embarrassing showing by West Indies. What do you see in this first test? And do you see anything different happening in the second one that's going to start this coming Thursday?
No, I don't think I'll see anything different. It's just something else, I guess. It's definitely embarrassing. And then what's more embarrassing with West Indies cricket is that they have a history of being champions, right? Teams being getting scared of them, right? That's their history. That's their legacy. And I mean, even a year ago, 2 years ago, I would say they were not 2 years, but 4 or 5 years ago, they were a good team. They had some good people, good players in there. They still do. Um, but then go back a series before this one, before the India series, they lost the T20 series with Nepal, dude.
Yeah.
That is that hurt, yeah. Because West Indies, I mean, I think West Indies team has always been closer to Pakistan. in a way. I don't know for some reason because their wishes like to come to Pakistan a lot for some reason, um, but yeah, I don't see the picture being different any different in the second or third test. And then that's it. And unfortunately, this is where people are drawing a line of the tier system, right? Having tier one and the tier two, which I do not think it's a good idea. I think every small team should play every big team and like that. So uh, the only thing, and of course, West Indies team is struggling with injuries too. Their main bowler, who was that, Shamar Joseph, if I'm
Uh-huh.
correct,
Yeah.
he got injured. I mean, so they do have the capability of upsetting India. They do. They have shown that in Australia, right? When nobody expected them, the crowds were not there, stadium was empty, and bam, they got a win. Even Pakistan with a full strength team couldn't do that,
Yeah.
right? And they did. So yeah, so they can surprise India, but considering the conditions in India, especially the spinners, especially playing spin, that's the main thing, right? I think with fast bowling, they could still uh, play better, but it's just the spin conditions and the spinners and stuff.
All right.
So yeah,
Well, we'll
I,
see. We'll
I,
see.
I don't see any difference coming up.
All right. We'll see. I'm with you. It doesn't look very hopeful, but hey, that's why we play the games. Speaking of the games,
Exactly.
real quick, catch up our listeners on a few things going on, so that Afghanistan side of the batting is done after 20 overs. Afghanistan was able to inch all the way up to 143 for nine. So a target of 144 coming up for Bangladesh. Of course, that leaves the win probability in Bangladesh's favor by quite a bit, like 70% win probability. 144, not a very daunting a target, but boy, I mean, it's a lot better than 100, 111, 115. It was looking
Exactly.
like they were going to be all done there. So kudos to the bottom of the order for making a stand and putting some runs on the board for Afghanistan. Let's see how this shakes out for Bangladesh. The other game going on, that football game between the Browns and the Minnesota Vikings. Down to 5 minutes left. Minnesota has the ball right now. They're trying to drive for either a tying field goal or a winning touchdown. Let's see how that shakes out. It's just really nice to actually have Minnesota Vikings realize after the first couple of weeks of this season, look like they've forgotten they have a generational player in Justin Jefferson. So now they've started to feed him the ball. In this one, 10 targets, 6 catches, 102 yards. And let's see what else he's able to.
Generational player. That's nice. I've heard that before too.
I mean, look, Justin Jefferson is a monster, but yeah. So Dallas has been lucky enough to have some generational players, but unlucky enough to have had GMs who've decided to ship
Right.
them off, both in
Yeah.
Micah Parsons of the Cowboys, and before that, last spring, Luka Doncic by the Mavs. So yeah, we'll see how those things shake out. All right, man. Let's talk lastly about where was I going with? Oh yeah. So you were talking about players of old. You mentioned Viv Richards, another big name in the world of cricket, from close geographical proximity to Viv would be Brian Lara. What a
Mm-hmm.
great cricketer, right? Just an
What a great.
amazing player, amazing career, and a wonderful human being. I actually had the privilege of meeting him, got to sit down and chit chat with him for about 10 minutes. Wonderful
Really
conversation.
nice.
Yeah, Friday night. Do you know where?
Wow. Where?
It was at the opening ceremonies and the following opening match for the NCL, National Cricket League, that is in town right now. Started on Friday.
Damn,
It's going to go
man.
on over the. Yeah, man. It was such a. You know, that's what I live for. That being in this world, both in the sports and the entertainment world. What I want is, and I'm gonna share something that Mr. Lara said. So I asked him, after we'd been talking for a couple of minutes, and it was after the game, well after the game. It was literally um, a few of us, about three or four of us, sitting around chit chatting, right? And I asked him, I said, hey, I do a sports show here. Would you mind if I recorded a quick 60 to a 90-second clip? It would be an honor for me to, have ask you a quick question or two and play that on my show. He goes, man, it's late at night, and I prefer conversations instead of recordings and pictures. And I was like, you know
Right.
what? That's perfectly great. I would much rather have those memories of the 10 minutes of conversation that I had with the great
Exactly.
Brian
Be
Lara
great.
than
Yeah.
any clip that might give me clicks and likes and all that. I don't care about
Wow.
that. It's the
Yeah.
memories, man. It was so good, so good. So NCL is in town. It's going to be going on all week and culminating with the finals. You know what? NCL is a 10 over side. It's
Yeah.
it's it's it,
Again. Yeah.
it's a quick game. Um, I didn't think I'll be straight with you when they started to talk about it, whatever, 10 years ago, once T20 was a thing, it was always, hey, how can we make it even shorter and more consumable? And then the 10 over side thing started to be discussed. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to work. That's just not enough time for a cricket match. But I got to tell you, being involved with NCL last year and then this year, it's fun, man. It's fun. It's a different game, but the similar
Right.
format, right? You got to start well, you got to establish, but it's just that the power play is
You got to do everything real quick.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny the match starts, and then the fifth over's gone, and you're like, okay, then you need to start accelerating because there's just 36 balls left. Sorry, 30 balls left, right? So 60 total deliveries. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's a different sport, but it's also the same. It's just it's condensed into these 10 overs. You can finish it in about an hour and a half or so. The longest I've seen one of these games go is about
I've yeah. I mean, I've got some reservations on these, man. To be honest, I maybe I'm too old school for that for this, but this is what I feel. I think T10 especially should only be for younger teams that
Mhm.
are getting into cricket,
Yeah,
right? Or for players who have already retired
yeah. So
and they
Wahab
were
Riaz
just want
was
to do that,
yeah
right?
Wahab Riaz was there last
Um,
night in a
but
big
unfortunately, we
six.
see, especially Pakistani players who just get a chance, they'll come and play T10 as well, right?
Yeah,
Like Iftikhar or Shadab and stuff like that. I'm not sure how many Pakistani players are playing here or trying to get chance here, but with the National Cricket League, you said NCL, right? So
yes, yeah.
I have a strong reservation on that.
Yeah, Wahab Riaz was there last night. Hit a big six, and it was you're right. It's going to be some youngsters. Obviously, it's a lot of club teams that have won their championships and their leagues, and then have gotten to play here, uh, as well as sprinkled in with some international players. So it was a fun atmosphere. It was a great vibe. They had Sachin Tendulkar and Brian Lara there for the opening
Oh, wow.
ceremonies.
Did you get
And
a chance to meet Sachin?
yeah. So I'll show you. I got a picture with him last year. He was involved. He's one of the ambassadors, one of the spokespersons for NCL. So he's going to be coming back for the championship
No, I'm
next Sunday.
surprised he shook hands with you. Did you out I'm a Pakistani? Did he shook hands with you?
All right. Okay. So you've broached the topic. We do got to talk about it. Okay. Look, when the handshake thing
Great
happened,
segue to get into the topic.
it is. It is. When the handshake thing happened, I was a little irritated because I was like, the whole point of sports and art and entertainment is that it has no borders, it has no politics. You go beyond all that. So I was
Yeah.
really irritated when that handshake thing happened and the way it was brought in. Right? I mean, what are you doing, Surya Kumar Yadav? Like, what are you doing? Why are you invoking political statements and all that? It's a sport. It's where you get together to play a game, to have fun, to forget about the craziness of the world, right? To
Yeah.
inject politics into that was uncalled for. Now, I'm gonna. I don't want to get.
Especially after you shook hands with the ACC chairman. right?
Well,
He
so
was
we're
the ACC chairman. He was not the PCB. He's a PCB chairman, sure, but he was at the time was ACC chairman. So you shook hands with him at that time. Your board, your government decided to say yes to all the games, and they will participate. We play, do all that stuff. But then all of a sudden, it just comes up like,
yeah.
oh,
So
we're not
you're
going to shake hands.
so you jumped ahead a little bit. I was talking about the original handshake gate at the India game after they beat us in the round robin, right? The
The
fact,
first one, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I
That's
was
what I'm talking
alluding
about
to.
too. Yeah,
But so then you fast forward exactly as you said. You fast forward, you get to the finals. You know, if you're trying to, this makes the players, the captain, the team, the council, everybody, it makes you look weak because all you did was some theatrics. So they
yeah,
refused
and
to. At the end, they
yeah,
said, "We're not going to shake hands with um, uh,
exactly.
Naqvi, right? Because he's a Pakistani." Well, that's not he's not there in his
And
capacity
that's
as a
Pakistan.
Pakistani.
Exactly.
He's there as an administrator of the council, which has put together a tournament that you just won. If you want to make a stand, Surya Kumar Yadav, if you want to make a stand, say, we're not going to play. Look, I'm not advocating for this. I don't want injection of politics into sports. But if you want to do it and want to come across as being genuine, say, we're not going to play this game against this country because we have political differences.
Absolutely.
Try to
Yep.
give up the trophy, but to be able to be small enough to not want to give up the trophy, but then try to do these theatrics of, I'm not gonna accept the trophy. I think Naqvi did exactly what he should have, what I would have done in his spot. Like, okay, you don't want to shake hands with me and receive the trophy for me? Okay, cool. I'm taking the trophy back. You don't get it. So at this point, I think what they've done, and I don't know what the fallout. Does India have the Asia Cup trophy yet, or is that still pending?
That's still pending.
Okay.
And you know what the point that I was trying to make initially, right? Is one was when India came to play the Asia Cup, right?
Uh-huh.
They had this post tournament thing where the captain was there, all the captains were there, Mohsen Naqvi was there. You shook hands with Mohsen Naqvi at that time.
Yep.
Everybody saw it, the whole world saw it. And then during the press conference, when everybody was coming out, Umalaga was standing, you know, out from the stage, on the side of the stage. As soon as he went down towards, going outside, Salman Agha and you shook hands. I'm not going to talk about who started first, who took the initiative. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You shook hands. Everybody saw it, right? These two things happen. All of a sudden, what happened that you said, oh, now because we shook hands at that time, we shook hands in North Country, now we're not going to do it.
You got a call from
Like,
your political leaders, and
probably, yeah.
you
That's what
absolutely
happened.
injected politics into a sport, and that is what I object to. I don't want to take sides on the.
And that tells me, unfortunately, he might be a good cricketer, like the way he's
No, he's a
playing, the way
weak
he's
leader.
captaining, sure, but he's very weak in
Weak
that.
leader. Yeah.
But we wanna do that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
I would make a stance, right? Or make a stand rather. I would take that stance of I am not going to impurify my sport by injecting politics into it. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have expected from a strong leader of an athletic team, and that is not what we saw. So, unfortunately, we've gotten to the end of this as well. Umair, thank you so much. Wonderful to have you with us today. By the way, the Bangladesh batting has not started yet, and one other thing going on is the India and Pakistan women's match that is happening
Oh,
right
please
now.
let's not talk about that. Man. Come on. I was not expecting anything, and look what happened.
Yeah.
What's happening? Yeah,
It's looking pretty bleak. So
yeah.
India is going to looks like unless barring something
Oh, by the
really
way, Rizwan, there was this controversy. Did you hear about that controversy about Sanami?
no. There's why are there controversies everywhere, man?
So
Okay, tell you
during
what. Hey,
Pakistan Bangladesh game.
I'm way beyond the break time. So
Okay,
let
yeah,
me take a break. Hang tight.
And I gotta tell you about this
I
controversy.
want to hear about it. All right, you're listening
Okay,
to the
okay.
Sports Spotlight with Rizwan and Mary.
You are listening to